We're live. Hello.
Oh,
Hi,
so is Ina.
everyone.
Oh, hello, everybody.
It's Friday night, and me and Crispy are finally doing our first podcast episode together.
Damn
We've been
straight.
talking about different ideas, so tonight we'll be doing just a quick light review of Five Nights at Freddy's and Digimon Adventure 02, since both of
Mm-hmm.
us saw it. And I was like, let's do a bonus episode this week, and we just saw Five Nights and
Yes.
Digimon, so why not?
What? Jesus Christ. No, goddamn. Five Nights at Freddy's. Actually, why don't we know where we're going to start? You want to start with Five Nights or go with Digimon?
Let's start with Five Nights, since that's the one we just recently saw.
Yeah, we recently saw in Digimon, we have too much of Digimon, so I feel like Digimon could be the final piece.
Yes.
All right. So, you want to get the synopsis, or you want me
um,
to go with it?
I'll give the synopsis and we can just jump right on in because there's
Okay.
so much I want to give major props to about the movie.
Okay,
So,
go ahead, man.
Five Nights at Freddy's is it's essentially just a really horrific Chuck E. Cheese. It stars Matthew Lillard and Jonathan Hutchison, I think's his last name. He's the guy from Hunger Games who played Peter, the
Mike.
boy with the bread.
You're talking about Mike. In
Yeah,
this
Mike.
movie, his name is Mike. He was from was it Zephyra? The one with the board game when you're a kid, when they're like their kid, he was a
Oh,
kid.
Zathura.
Zephyra, yeah, he was in that.
Yeah.
That's the first movie I've ever seen him in, and I actually enjoyed him in that fucking movie too. So like, he made it
Yeah,
this
I
far.
love that movie.
But
But
yeah,
it's that guy starring as Mike. He's kind of down on his luck. He's having some trauma that he's dealing with, some issues, and a reoccurring dream. And he's trying to find a job because he assaulted. Well, he did assault a guy. He assaulted a child's dad, and they
he did
pressed
not just
charges.
assault a guy. He just beat the shit out of him. He fucking massacred that bitch. Sorry.
And And so he's meeting with a career counselor, and he's like, "Hey, you don't got a lot of options. There's this security gig, but you're probably gonna quit." And so he was like, "Take my card if you have a change of mind. Uh, call me." And so the things progress on. We find out that he has a younger sister that he's the guardian of, and their aunt is trying to take his younger sister away from him to get the government money. And
Hmm.
so, in order to keep his sister and start the process of trying to do better as her caregiver, he's like, "I'll take the job." He goes in, and things are kind of unusual. He hears things kind of moving around, but doesn't see anything. And the further he goes into each night as he works there, he soon meets a police officer who magically just grew up knowing everything about Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, and soon it's come to find out that the animatronics can come to life. They are being oh god, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's so hard to do a quick synopsis because there's so many moving parts in this. The animatronics come to life. They try to steal the younger sister because they are the host bodies for children that have been killed and
I wouldn't
stuff within
say.
them.
Wouldn't say
We find
steal.
out that Matthew Lillard is William Afton, also soon to be known as Glitch Trap, and we figure out
Where?
that Mike had his younger brother abducted by William Afton and murdered.
Hmm.
And then William Afton dies because the kids in the suits regain their humanity. Okay, so let's talk about Matthew Lillard first.
You took. I was about to jump in first. So, damn it. There we go. Let's talk about him.
He did a really great job, in my opinion. For I
Yes.
know he's been out of roles for a while, so
Hmm.
at that point you consider yourself retired. But he came in with a 13 Ghosts style performance,
Hmm.
and he just took it to the next level as a villain. I didn't know I needed to see him as a villain in my life until this movie.
I never wanted to see him as a villain ever in my life, but now I'm happy that I did see him as a villain because, like, well, like, okay, so I've never played the FNAF game. I never played Freddy's games. I now get a PC. I'm gonna play them the proper way on a PC. Me and Jerry are gonna plan on doing these streams together at some point because I just have to buy the fucking game, and there's like the games later down the road. But like in like I've been watching other people talk about the games. There's a guy, there's the phone guy. So they
Hmm.
combined his role with phone guy and the ex owner of well, technically owner of was it
The pizzeria.
Freddy's Pizzeria. I can never. I'm not gonna remember the freaking
It
thing.
changes up because it goes from like a pizzeria to then like a child's entertainment,
Yeah, they had, like,
like
multiple
place. They
they had
got a lot
multiple
of
I
stuff.
know the background is fucking hectic, okay, of this whole the game series
Yeah.
because yeah, was it William has a freaking was it by himself and all this other shit, then later on, he ends up meeting Henry, and Henry's, Mike's father, and Mike's father, and, like, all this other shit. There's a bunch of shit that's happening, and it's like, whatever, they don't explain that much of it, they only go into a small detail to enough to get us going with this movie. If they make a second one, we will maybe get deeper descript like reasons why of all this shit's happening even more. But like if you're a Five Nights at Freddy nut, you would understand everything. But I looked it up. He's supposed to be the phone guy and William.
Hmm.
So he was doing good trying to play it off as the phone guy enough until you got to the ending and you're like, oh fuck, you're that guy. If you're not a newbie to the Five Nights at Freddy, you would understand that after him reading off Mike's name and stopping, you would realize, oh, this bitch is is William. He's not the work counselor. Oh my god. Another thing, the aunt's a bitch. I feel
Yes.
bad for her
Oh
lawyer.
my god.
I
I
feel
don't feel bad
so bad.
that she got what she deserved.
Oh, she
She
definitely
was
did.
a terrible person. Why
Oh,
would you set up your nephew to look like somebody broke in just
because
over some free government money?
because she's a dumb bitch. That's how it is. She's an over entitled dumb person. That's it. And she needed more money, even though she looked like she had a luxurious job or a luxurious life prior. But it didn't seem
Yeah.
like she was married. So I would say she probably had a job that paid her
She's
well.
probably a
But
black widow.
all right. So she's probably that too, but other than that, she just needed some extra money into her pocket. She said, "Oh, my said nephew and niece are around. Nephew's a little too old. Niece is young enough to be brought over to me as an adoption thing and taking government money, you know." But
Mhm.
they didn't just like she's a. I just feel bad for the lawyer. The lawyer was put in the situations where a lawyer should not be, so he can deny that his like person that he's like helping. It's like not like that's she's not guilty. She was not there. I was definitely not. He was fucking like,
He was
but he
he
was an
had it the
idiot.
worst.
But he was definitely an idiot of a lawyer. He should have known he should not have been there automatically. Why would he go to the restaurant?
And she's setting up essentially a hit.
Yeah, yeah, they kinda talked about killing him at one point. That's even more fucked up for the ant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So how much of the
goddamn.
Five Nights lore do you know? Because I know some of it because I've seen like videos and stuff, but there's so much that you can't fit it in one video. Well, you can, but it'd be
Um,
long.
it's hard, like, I'm not gonna lie, I probably watched most of the lore, but, like, I just, like, force-fed it in my brain enough that, like, right now, if I'm gonna talk about it, like, now, I'm not gonna give you all my answers because it's been a bit now since I watched all of them, and
Okay.
but, like, I know William started the thing like, started this company because he thought like, saw this one bear back when he was a kid and all this other stuff, so he made his own little animatronic situation where, like, set up with his, like the bear with Freddy, and got himself going with this Chuck E. Cheese setup. And after that, this other gentleman, Henry, came out, and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna do your shit, but better." with these people, and he even made up their setup, and him and Henry end up collaborating later on over some like because like Freddy was kind of going down because the animatronics were slightly better and this place is a little bit better. So William decided to partner up, and they end up combining the Freddy's pizzeria and like the other people's wherever Henry's was together, and Freddy was still the main guy. Like he's the main animatronic. And then they collabed, added more shit, and then it went down south. I think, oh god, I think one of Williams like Mike, someone accidentally kills like a Mike accidentally kills was I'm trying to remember like I think
So
they
you
screwed up
know a
the
good bit of the lore.
yeah,
Okay.
it feels like they kind of screwed up like the kid situation thing because Mike actually kills his brother by holding up to an animatronic and he cries and the face goes on his face and kills his brother.
Yeah.
That's where I remember with the real game and the people talking about it. And then he went into grief, and then the daughter of his Williams gets picked on by Henry's son. I think Henry's son, and so Williams like, "Yo, fuck you," and ends up killing the kid. And he's happy about killing Henry's son because he's like, "If I have to have heartbreak, you get to have heartbreak." And all
Yeah.
this other stuff. So I think they switch up a little bit of stuff around just to give us some different scenario.
Because it was I was gonna just say, you know how at the end of the movie when Matthew Lillard's in that suit,
Oh yeah, he's just like,
that's the suit he comes back as. It's
hmm
called Glitch Trap. Well, it's got a
yeah,
few different names, Spring Trap or Glitch Trap, but that with the line he says is I always come back.
yeah,
Every time he has died, he does come back.
yeah. That's
It's
like
like he's just a never ending cycle of violence.
I heard that's like a thing. Like he just doesn't know how to stop, even though you've killed him many of times. He just keeps coming back somehow.
Yeah, because he's got a few different animatronics,
hmm
you could say almost that he possesses.
So he just body hops. Sounds perfect.
Yeah, that's really what he does because he can also infect like other animatronics, built after the
hmm
Five Nights crew. But one thing I don't know how far into the lore you may have gotten. So Vanessa, you know how she's
Yeah,
like in here she's played as William's daughter.
yeah.
I thought the angle for that was really interesting and a good way to set up another character called Vanny
Okay.
because I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, but they've already Matthew Lillard confirmed he's on a contract for 3 movies with Bloomhouse, which
Fuck yeah.
obviously is Five Nights at Freddy's.
I can't wait to hear his voice as a fucking spiritual robotic like creature. I just feel like it's just gonna be creepy as fuck. It's like
No,
how
it
it's
will be
gonna.
because there's a lot of different theories people have on the route they're going to go, but the
Mhm,
unified one I've been seeing is you've already introduced the base animatronics, so and you've also set up for Glitch Trap to come back. So
yep.
now you just have to set up Vanny because she's a big part of this too. And now that they set up Vanessa as Afton's daughter, the
hmm
motive would make sense,
But
especially with the fact, now that he's dead, he can essentially move his soul around where he kind of needs it.
doesn't Vanessa like I've been in the game lore for here and there and all that junk, but like doesn't Absence like daughter die inside one
It
actually die by one of the robots when she was younger?
I think
It
she had
makes
like a twin sister or something, but yeah, one of them does.
like one of them dies, and it's like the more like the I don't know, it's like the girl robot. I don't know what the hell I forget her name. Um, she has a
Also,
like
everyone, sorry that we're just bouncing
yeah,
around because there's lore you have to understand at a base level to understand some scenes.
and we're not average Five Nights at Freddy's like
No,
gamers of this. Like, so we're just going off of videos that we have watched to get us ready for this movie plus and about this podcast. So if you have any comments, anything to help us with this, please do. They get us
Yeah,
to shut up quicker.
because
Or
Five
to
Nights
correct
lore is
us.
like the SCP universe. It is so long and convoluted. Well, let me not say convoluted, but
Well, there's
Five
like,
Nights took too long to establish its lore, and I'm
well,
glad
there's
they waited till the last game Security Breach came out because now everything is so singular.
well, we were on like PlayStation one night, and we were talking. I believe you were there. It was me, Billy, I think Jimmy, and I believe you were there. Were you for this? We were talking about how many Five Nights of Freddy games there were. There was about
Yeah,
like,
there's like 10.
yeah, 8 to 10 games, even more maybe. Like, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of lore and stuff that you have to comprehend from it.
It's not like a superhero movie where you can just dive in.
True, it's not because they didn't make it like that. I'm not gonna lie. This game should have been rated R. No, this movie should have been rated R.
Oh yes, for
It
sure.
should have got the rated R like
The
marker.
when the people went to go break, so in one scene, so the aunt was talking to, I can't remember the younger sister's name, Abby.
Yes, Abby, but the she was talking to
She was talking to Max, who was Abby's
Max. Yeah,
babysitter,
she
and
was talking to
basically
her and her
setting up.
boyfriend or brother. I don't know, wherever she is. They are.
Yeah, and she was essentially setting up to have his job broken into to look like he's failing, and so she could get his younger sister for this government adoption
Hmm.
money. And so they go break into it. But when they get there, the animatronics wake up and they absolutely butcher everyone. It's not a joke at all because a lot of it, since it's PG-13, has to be implied.
Hmm.
But straight up, one dude, he gets attacked by Chica's cupcake. So these are the like Five Nights at Freddy's one outfits. So this is back when Chica still held the plate and the cupcake and had the bib that says "Let's eat." The
Hmm.
cupcake assaulted this dude's face, and he's just down. He's
Oh yeah,
dead
dude.
already.
You see him on the fucking camera just trying to yank it off, and he dies.
The dude in the
And
janitor's closet that saw
there's an applied
Bonnie,
death. Applied. Just applying. He's dead because you get the hand in the window, the bloody hand. That's
yeah,
it.
Bonnie just crushed him to death. But
I
the
feel
worst
bad. The
one,
worst one is Max. I
yeah,
feel
Max
bad
got
for
it the
her.
worst. She went into Freddy's head animatronic because it was on like this repair rack or whatever,
Well,
and
she
then
was
it just,
chasing the kid.
yeah, she was chasing
She
a
was
ghost
chasing the
kid,
ghost kid, and she's like, "Oh,
and the
okay,
head just came down and
yeah."
smashed her in the waist. She was just two ends.
Like, where did the? I don't even know where all the bodies went. Like, I know the lore is that the bodies get stored inside the robot, but
Hmm.
like, that's a lot of body.
I think
Those are
for
grown ass
them,
people.
they were just tossed off to the side because Afton's whole thing is, just child murder.
No, true, but where did they put them? That is my now question. If they didn't go inside the animatronic, then where are they now?
Probably in the meat locker. Oh,
I'll accept that.
speaking of scary, the moment when the aunt dies and the kid is there as a glitched out Freddy.
Oh, wait, the aunt dies.
Yeah, because remember it was when um the blonde kid whose body was stuffed in Freddy came to the house and was like,
Oh yeah.
come play with us. Yeah, he killed the aunt because remember
Oh.
she was laid out on the floor and he was like, "Oh, your aunt's just sleeping. She's so silly."
Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh god, I never caught on that. Ow.
Yeah,
Oh no, damn it, Jerry. What? Okay, never mind. I've watched this movie probably twice now and never picked up on that part for some reason. Okay.
dude, I
Damn.
was zeroed into every
I
little thing.
fuck. I feel like before we jump into the next title, but there's a part when I went to see this the other half of this podcast, this movie, Digimon, I had to do that to a guy at the movie theater because he asked to say this about he said something to me and I gave him like the answer about somebody dying. And the guy just gave the face like what I just did. Damn it, Jerry. Revenge.
But it to get back on track, Five Nights at Freddy's, this was another excellent video game adaptation of a
Mhm.
movie, in my opinion.
It's
Because not only did they capture all the basic essence,
mhm.
they really made it more streamlined in terms of how they got from point A to point B without adding in C through E as just reference points because it never got mentioned.
Well, they knew what they're I would say the team knew what they're doing and knew what they were going for. They're
Mm-hmm.
projecting towards the Five Nights at Freddy's fans. They weren't going for anybody else. They weren't grabbing out of the realm of Five Nights at Freddy's. If you knew the game, you're going to see the movie because you're a fan and you had hopes for the movie. And like they knew what they had to get from point A to point B. They didn't add the fucking like the freaking turnaround U-turn bullshit crap to you because they just knew they had to do this right. They made it simple and easy to the point and told the good story. Didn't have to do anything crazy. And they left us off with like the
A
setup
great
for the next
cliffhanger.
ey. Yeah, they set us off. So
Because
either way,
I was talking to Trini and she didn't realize it while Aston was still, like dying because like how in movies when people die, they start losing, like function in
mhm.
certain parts of their bodies. She didn't see that one of his arms lifted up and he was moving the fingers and everything. Like
Oh, she didn't?
she didn't
Oh
notice that.
god.
Well, she didn't catch up on it. She thought he was like, oh, he's still alive. But I'm like, no, at this point, his breath is, too labored and shallow. Like he's
Mhm,
essentially, maybe like another, I'd say minute and a half from
mhm.
dying. And he's already like, you've taken me out of this fleshy, weak meat suit and gave me an indestructible iron body.
I know, that's like that I saw that when he started moving his hands and shit, I'm like, "Ah, here we go." And then the next cutscene, I think the last cutscene was the gentleman the taxi driver?
Yeah,
Didn't
he's a famous YouTuber.
I
His name's
heard
Tori X Kenshin,
mhm,
and they brought him on strictly as comedic relief
mhm.
because he like I watch him sometimes. He doesn't upload regularly anymore. This isn't a snub or a shot at him, but it's like his content is funny, and I'm like, please come back with more content.
Well, they had a bunch of a few YouTubers in it. One of them is Matt from, Game Theory/Movie Theory.
Yeah, I heard that.
He was in it. He was the waiter for the waiter in the restaurant with the aunt and the babysitter. He was
Yeah,
that
I
guy.
heard they had a couple of pretty good YouTubers, and they all did their roles like, oh,
He did
you can
decent.
tell like who the YouTubers are,
Mhm.
but when you look at them, it's like, yeah, I see why they brought them on because it's not just so much for like to put them out there, but it's like we know who your audience is, and they're gonna come and still enjoy the movie even if they don't get to your part right away.
Mhm. What did I say? Back to like the taxi driver. I'm not gonna lie. The taxi driver, I thought he was an Uber. I'm not
I
gonna
was
lie
thinking that too.
because they don't show a taxi car. They don't show you. They just show you this gentleman. Then we get the door opens. It's this gentleman in the driver's seat, like in casual fuck, and it looks like a casual fucking car, and they're just getting into it. And that's it. And then you have the end credit scene. He's sleeping, and Freddy opens his door and leaves him the little balloon boy. The
Fuck
freaking
Balloon Boy.
so yeah.
I hated Balloon Boy so much because he popped up. He popped in the games. He just pops up, and you think he's an animatronic,
Okay.
but he's not. He's just a. Well, I guess he is an animatronic, but he's not one of the important ones.
Okay. So speaking of animatronics, which one's your favorite?
So I really don't like any of them, to be
Okay.
honest. And it, but
None like design, nothing.
in the newest game, Security Breach, when they did the glam rock versions, I like the alligator Monty a lot
Okay.
because he's an alligator, but you're giving him a guitar and the star sunglasses, and I
Uh
think he
huh.
also has like an
He has a
old. He's got a
mohawk.
funk vibe to him. And I'm
I
like,
think he's a
that's cool. I
mohawk.
like that.
I'm gonna give me a second. I'm gonna Google him. But I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy based on this movie. None of the other games, none of that stuff. I'm going off. I enjoy Foxy's design. The
Yeah,
decaying,
Foxy.
just creepy ass pirate, like freaking fox
Hmm.
creature. It's pretty cool and it's creepy. Like if I was actually working there, I think I'd be more terrified of that one the most. I'd be terrified. Animatronics are moving by themselves, but if that
If
one
I had
showed up
to
at
pick
me,
from the movie, Foxy definitely would be a choice because he's got the hook, and no matter what, that hook is always gonna hurt. But if I had to pick one just based on design in the movie, I'd probably go with Freddy just because like just his original look is so iconic that they don't change it up too much in the future games.
mm, yeah, I think what is it? Well, technically, I don't even know. I don't think he's in the new game that came out, the Security Breach.
Yeah,
But
he's
yeah,
still in it. He's not an enemy this time, he's an ally, which is very
okay.
different because they give them programmed AIs. So he's like he can freely think and do as he pleases.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at the cover. I've seen some things of this
Chica?
game. Well, Chica. Well, I don't know if this one's Chica. This one's not Yellow Bird or like a yellow chicken or duck or whatever she's supposed to be. I see the Monty. He has a mo. He does give me that vibe, like he's trying, like
He's funky.
yeah, definitely doing this thing. And like I'm, all the images as I remember is whatever Latray sent us, and it's just
Yeah,
I don't want to see them.
unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Because
yeah,
in
no.
Security Breach, it's Freddy, Foxy, Monty, and Chica, which
Yeah,
is
Fox.
surprising because Chica, I think, is in outside of Freddy, is in every game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, is it
Because
Foxy that the gray animatronic now?
yeah, the wolf,
Oh no, they
not
changed.
Foxy, that's Roxy.
Oh, that's Roxy. Okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna say Roxy, not Foxy.
okay. Let me see. I'm like looking at YouTube, not YouTube, Google, and like looking at stuff. Okay, security breach Foxy. Let's see if he got an upgrade.
No, he's more so just mentioned in background lore, which this
Oh,
game has so much of, which I both
uh,
like and dislike for just Five Nights at
well,
Freddy's
this is
reasons.
a. I don't know. I don't know. I found something. I don't know. I keep getting. I got some photos, but like I don't know if I want to say like they're just
No,
fan art. They're more
probably.
fan art, but like the one that gets it closer to what the game's and like animation would be like. This is like the new reimage for him.
Mhm.
The
Which
fit
is
for
weird
it.
because Roxy is a girl, and I'm like, "Okay."
Well, Foxy needed a girl, man. He needed somebody. He can't just be by himself, just chasing around
Roxy's a wolf.
bears. So you get a wolf hybrid fox thing,
No.
The wolves. I don't know.
Anyway.
We're off topic anyway. That's a Latray topic.
So I wanted to get your opinion on it. I was talking about this a lot with one of my coworkers who saw it. How did you feel about Mike and his dream theory of trying to go back to the day his brother was kidnapped?
I'm
But
fine
while
with
he
that.
was doing that, he ended up meeting the kids who were, abducted and killed. That turned out to later be the animatronics.
I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that because, like, I'm not gonna lie, like the dream theory thing is like kind of like a thing that I kind of like somewhat believe in and not like somewhat believe in because I had some moments and like I had dreams that are kind of realistic and stuff that kind of brings me backwards and stuff or like trauma-ish like kind of things and like it's fine like it worked out and like it was okay. Like I had one dream like it's kind of depressing dream, but like it's like a depressing topic, but like my grandmother passed away. We moved out her stuff out of our house and I had a dream that I was moving her stuff out of her house and her like randomly she shows up. She's helping us move. and we end up talking and stuff, and that felt fine. It was like literally like 2 to 5 days after she passed away, and it was nice. It wasn't bad. For some reason, she was pink, but I googled that. Some person gave me an answer on that. That's like pink. If someone shows up pink in your, what's it called, in your dream, they mean like they're happy and at peace. So like it's fine.
I've never heard of that until just now. That's so
Oh,
interesting.
it's weird. It was just a weird dream. She was talking to me. We were having fun. Where she was helping me bring down all these like stuff out of like her apartment that she was in.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It No, I agree with you. I liked the dream theory angle a lot because you know in modern science, dreams are still one of those things we don't really understand what the purpose of them is for.
No, we don't.
Like obviously Sigmund Freud, I'm not going to call him a world renowned famous psychiatric facilitator. I definitely think he's a quack on some things, but I think he does have a good point about dreams just being places of information where we do with as we please.
Hmm.
And like even how the indigenous tribes describe dreams is, if you die in a dream, you die, for real. Because
Hmm.
for me, like I have a lot of crazy dreams. I don't remember a lot of them, but it's definitely like in a dream, what you feel is the most absurd thing. Like talking to a past loved one is very commonplace in my opinion because while you're asleep, your mind just goes everywhere.
Oh
And
yeah.
while you're sleeping, you don't have all the constants, like light, just TV background, whatever may have you. It's just you at your center. And I think for him, while he's still feeling in guilt about his brother being kidnapped and finding the five children, and they're dropping hints like, yeah, this thing right here that looks like a bunny rabbit is really important.
Hmm.
And then the fact that they also tricked him while trying to help him seems, very
Yeah, that
just
was that's the
spiritual
bullshit
in a
thing.
way, I guess.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, them tricking him into giving up his sister to them was kind of a low thing, like a low ball thing. Because like it's like he's in this mind state of I'm desperate, I need help, I need somebody to give me the guidance of like who killed my brother, and
Hmm.
they just took it and ran so they can just have the sister in their hands.
Yeah.
And the thing is like the sister made good friends with them. They didn't want to hurt her. It didn't seem like they wanted to kill her at first,
It was
but
definitely under the influence of
yes.
Aston when they wanted to hurt, just not her, but everybody.
Like, it was, like, nice enough, like, she was making friends with them, doing all like, she's about the same age as them, and, like, I get it, they wanted somebody new because that place has been probably shut down for a few years now,
Several.
and yeah, and they only had security guards to play with, and the security guards weren't fun to play with. They were good torture, tools, like, dummies, but, yeah, but, like, it's just like at the end of the movie, the and even Abby's like, "Can I go and visit my friends?" And Mike's like, we're talking about it." Like at the
Yeah,
end of the movie, you see the building start collapsing in on itself. Like that's how they ended this whole like that pizzeria there. And like I don't even know how the second one's gonna even continue on with that building, but like
I have
it's
a
gonna
few
have
theories
to.
for that, but I'm gonna save them at the end.
Okay. But like I don't know. Yeah, no, it's just weird, and I'm not gonna like to backtrack to the dream thing. I heard like theories like with dreams and everything. Dreams are kind of like a weird gate, somewhat
Hmm.
to like other dimensions. Just don't how much do I believe of it? I don't know, but it's like other dimensions to another you, and you just see what they're doing, what's happening to them in that area. And I'm just gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It's like some of my fucking dreams are like, what the fuck am I doing? So I'm just gonna leave it alone as they're just my like imagination just running like amok and having fun because I do not want to think of myself doing certain things and my dreams in different dimensions. I think I've almost died like 8, maybe more than 8 times in my
Yes, it's a
dreams.
very freaky thing to watch.
So,
That
like, I rather
out
not
body
think of
experience.
myself dying.
No, it's so freaky.
Yes.
But it's I think the dream theory and that whole just concept took took what the Lord never put in and just
Mhm.
elevated it to another level.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they did it, and I'm glad they did it. It's that kind of deal for me. But oh, what else? It was one more thing I wanted your opinion on. Oh, what was it? Oh,
I don't know, but absent what?
no, I'm trying to think of it. Go ahead.
But at the end, like at the end of the movie, when we get to the part where William Absent shows up and he's in the suit and everything, and he's just going fucking control crazy and shit, saying, "You guys gotta kill him, do all you have to do," and all that shit, yelling and screaming. But when he fucking stabs Vanessa and all that shit, I got annoyed. I'm like, you literally just stabbed your only daughter left of your family that was willing to be
Mhm.
around your ass. Your psychopathic fucking like personality she stayed with, and you just fucking stabbed her, and you didn't even care. You just dropped her cold and went on to kill Mike, like try to kill Mike even more and his sister. But to me, like it's even like I kind of wish that the picture that Abby drew didn't unlock the what's it call it the trauma of the kids getting killed. I was hoping that Vanessa getting stabbed would turn everybody
I was
because she's
also
been
expecting that
around.
because
She's
it's like it's right in front of them,
mhm,
and obviously he's gonna use the same murder weapon.
yeah,
And I
like
was just like, I understood the reference to the drawing because that's the biggest piece in the game is you find drawings and just random things of that
mhm,
nature, and boom, that is lore confirmed.
yeah. But like I was just hoping that it wasn't like I was hoping that when she got stabbed, even though I didn't want her to get stabbed, she got stabbed. Freddy looked at it, looked at her like and getting stabbed, and just went on a rampage. I was hoping for that because like Freddy and like Vanessa's been there since she was a kid, growing up. So these kids knew her growing up.
Mhm.
Just that Absent didn't let them have her. So seeing well, Absent takes something that they grew up with, like that they lived around with, just take her away and from them. I feel like that would be a thing that would hurt them even more. Like she actually appreciated that character appreciated the animatronics. She appreciated the building. She did all. She liked everything of that place. It wasn't that she hated it. She despised her father for being
It
such
was
a
the things
manipulative
he did.
asshole. Yeah,
Yeah.
and murderer. And like that was the thing. But like she couldn't do anything about it because he's such a fucked up person that if she tried, he would do something, and he did do something when she tried. And I
Mhm.
wasn't expecting that fucking animatronic suit to be bulletproof.
I I have some reservations about the animatronic suit
Yeah,
because they got well, I haven't seen what some of the endoskeletons look like maybe in the originals,
in the
but
games, and they're
I
creepy as
hate
fuck.
that they're spring loaded because they reminded me of saw traps. And I'm like, this is obviously a ripoff from a saw trap. And I don't hate it like it's awful. I
Mhm.
hate it because I think it's cheesy.
But that's part of game lore. It's game lore that they were spring traps.
I know, and I
So that's
hate
like
it. It looked like a
so like that was the thing. Like they couldn't get away from that. But like The thing is, I think Henry's animatronics weren't spring trapped.
Mm-mm.
Only Williams was. So
Yeah,
William
because
was flawed. Every time he
his
built
was
one,
like a
he made his.
complete automaton, I think.
Hmm.
Henry's.
His was like an actual like an android basically walking around almost. That's how much he had, like how much future tech he kind of made it. But
Speaking of future tech, how do you feel about this movie like canonically taking place in 2000? I think that's so freaky.
it fucked me up because I'm just like seeing things like how people are dressed. I'm like, damn, that's how people did dress back then. And like seeing like kind of like hearing their stuff, they even almost mentioned media play, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I haven't heard that. They changed the name because of reasons, but
Hmm.
like, I'm just like,
I think for me,
yo,
it's how much of a Chuck E. Cheese the inside of that piece of real looked like.
oh yeah,
And I'm like,
it's a
God,
smaller one that I know of
this
because
takes me all the way back. Like, I feel
well,
like I'm a kid again.
well, Chuck E. Cheese is still a thing. It's actually crazy. Chuck E. Cheese is still a fucking thing. But I heard like I on Instagram, it's more rumor than Instagram is more rumor than factual half the time. Well, most of the time, and I kept on seeing a post of like Chuck E. Cheese has now taken away all their animatronics thanks to Five Nights at Freddy's movie,
See,
and
I
creeping
wouldn't
out
doubt that
kids. So I'm
because
like,
that would scare the hell out of a kid, especially after watching Five Nights at Freddy's.
true, but at the same time, like in my head, I'm like, who still had the Chuck E. Cheese?
I think there's still like three down here.
I have one in Poughkeepsie somewhere by the mall. That's like I think 30, yeah, it's like 30 minutes away from me. Like it's still, I believe it's still active. It shouldn't be, but it's there.
Yep. But
Oh god.
just to get ready to start wrapping up Five Nights so we can get to the next topic, I just, just a few scenes I wanted to just really give the kudos to.
Hmm.
Definitely that opening scene. I thought that was
Okay.
very uniquely shot. The way
Hmm.
they did some of the angles. Definitely everything with the animatronics for
Hmm.
a like 20 or 13 million dollar movie to gross 260 with just a very honestly kind of in the respect of what budgets are for movies right
Hmm.
now. That's a low budget movie pulling in a grand total
Well, people don't understand. Like you can make a great movie with a small
for a
budget.
little bit of
You
nothing.
can, yeah, you can make a really really good movie with nothing.
Yeah, and
It's
it's been
just
so long since I've seen that. It's like, oh, this is refreshing.
yeah, and it's just like people nowadays don't understand. Like companies nowadays don't understand that, and they think bigger the budget, better the movie. But whenever they make a bigger fucking movie, it falls apart
It
because
loses
nobody's
itself in
thinking about it
translation.
or anything, and they're not even like a lot of times when they make those movies, they're not even thinking about the fans. They're just doing the movie because I got a budget. I can make this
Mhm.
movie. I'm doing it my way, and nobody cares. Just make us the movie we want and just get on with the day. And that's what they did with Five Nights at Freddy's. They had the goal, they had a budget, they knew where they're going,
They
and that's it.
stuck it and
Yeah.
landed it perfectly.
Like I'm not like I saw behind the scenes, they actually had those security monitors. Those are
Mhm.
active cameras in that building.
Oh yeah, you can
They
tell.
they can move those cameras. It was like a YouTuber they let on this well the site and everything to go around the whole like Freddy's pizza parlor. And just he was able to move the cameras. Like yeah, this is how we are filming it. We're gonna use these security cameras when we need security footage. We're gonna use that, and it's gonna be all workable. Whenever he's panning, he's panning. That's what we get. And there they had some mock-ups of certain stuff. They have all the sets all set up in that building they're using. That was it. And it was nice. It was like nice to
It
know
was
that they modified it.
fantastically done. I loved it so much.
And
And
I'm still
then
wondering where they get all the 2000 technology.
eBay.
eBay. Oh my god.
And of course, I'm actually like the acting cast was fantastic, but I really want to shout out the woman that played Vanessa, and the little girl that played the sister.
Hmm.
They, I'm not gonna say they really made the movie for me, because like I loved their whenever they were on screen, it was always something good to see or something important being told.
Hmm.
But I just love how they kept their you can see how they kept their enthusiasm to
Hmm.
be in a Five Nights movie.
Well, it's like it feels like they were written well enough to be done properly, and like for Abby, you're getting put into a movie about this horror game, and you get to be like a like a co-host, like a co-star to this now
Mhm.
because she becomes a thing. It's not like she wasn't like a thing in the movie. Like she ends up like halfway into the movie, shit, she's now part of it. She's now in the shit with Mike now.
Yep.
Because like if you think about it, Mike in the original game, like in the games, it's just Mike. Mike does not have the sister with him. Now in the movie, he has a sister, and he brings the sister. He didn't want to bring the sister, but he had to bring the sister because Max died. He didn't know, so he had to bring the sister to Max's murder house. Like, it's kind of fucked up, but but Vanessa was nice enough to try to counsel Mike to help him get past his brother trauma, not
Mhm.
knowing what her father did, but trying. I don't think she even knew what her father did with Mike's brother. I think she's in the dark on that one.
She said that she said she knew that he had killed him, but he didn't she didn't know that they were related.
Ah, okay. But anywho, they were just she's trying to help him, try to go
Mhm.
by. You're famous. Thanks, Josh. I'm glad you're watching.
But I'm gonna give Five Nights at Freddy's an 8 out of 10. I think for something as obscure as Five Nights at Freddy's truthfully is, with how long it's taken the lore to get to the point it is, and also just I don't know if you've seen the list
You don't know
of
who Vanessa
animatronics.
is.
What he there is a character named Vanessa, so
But he doesn't know her. I doubt he's seen the movie. So
but anyway, I don't know if you guys have seen the full list of animatronics. There are too many. It
isn't there
is
like 20?
ridiculously long.
I
But
think there's 20.
oh, there's so many.
Is Nicolas Cage in it? No, he's not in it.
No,
He does have a movie where he plays a janitor in some movie,
yeah,
and that's coming out. I think came out or is
mm,
coming out
getting
soon.
ready to come out, I think.
Yeah, and he actually cleaned his toilets
But
in that movie.
what else was it? Yeah, this was honestly a nice addition to the video game movie success list,
Hmm.
because video game movies are great to do on paper until you realize like, oh, the concept of everything that this game does is too much to do in film right now. Let's just
Hmm.
scrap that. But you're
Yeah,
already too deep in, so you have to put out a piece of garbage and it ruins your career.
I'm gonna run off of that. I liked how they brought this game to life, and like video games nowadays is like they have to make it all CGI or they do a half CGI, half realistic movie, like to
Hmm.
make it even work. And this movie was they only had to use CGI for animatronics. Everything else around them was real.
But the
So,
animatronics still looked good.
oh, the
It
animatronics almost
looked
look.
like
I
their
believe.
CGI reminded me of Davy Jones from the Pirates of the Caribbean
Oh
series.
God, that
Because
was
that's CGI.
that
And
was
that was
CGI. Yeah.
fantastically done.
Hmm. Because at that time Disney knew how to do their shit. But
How
I'm
does
not
it
pointing fingers
compare
at them.
to Willy's Wonderland? Well,
Um,
there's no Willy, and the
there's
Wonderland
no.
is dark and depressing because
Yeah.
there's murdered children killing people.
Yeah, he answered that correctly. But like Sonic, I enjoy the Sonic movies, but like sometimes I can like kind of get like I can't do all of this at once. I enjoyed the second one
Mhm.
because of Knuckles.
No, it's true.
It's just like even Mario did great, but it was all CGI. But like, are we ever gonna do a legitimate? Sonic is definitely not gonna be a real thing. I know we're gonna need CGI for those things, but are we ever gonna have something like Five Nights at Freddy's that they did completely? They're murdering the Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. No, they were
No.
murdered and put inside the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics, and then possessed their animatronics, and then murdered more people. That's how it went.
Now, one thing I will say, I hope that they don't do because, you know, they might be starting to feel a little cocky because they've had successes. I don't want them to start normalizing video game movies. Like, well, this is going to be in a bonus episode, but I guess I can say it now.
Mm,
But, you know, it's like how we've been in the superhero 2 decades since 2008 because
mhm.
we've had so many superhero movies now. Everybody's like, I'm so tired of them. But that's another bonus episode topic for
No,
another
no,
day.
we're not gonna get video game like we're not gonna get withdrawal from video game movies because they're pacing pretty well with video game movies. Because we got Sonic. Sonic came out. We waited a good whole year and a half, maybe 2 years for Sonic 2.
True.
Then later on down the road, we got Mario. Okay, Mario wasn't even like that. Wasn't even like a like. That was like, oh, out of the blue, we found out the Mario thing was coming in real life and all that shit, and bam, we got him. We made fun of Chris Pratt for a good year, and then what's it called? Then Five Nights at Freddy's. To me, I didn't even know it was fucking coming out. Then it came out. It was coming around the corner. It was there. Like, it
I
was
didn't know until I saw the first trailer for it. And I'm like, how did they keep this under wraps? And also bring in Matthew Lillard.
yeah. That's 4 movies within a good what 6 years, 5 to 6 years.
I'd say like 5, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not horrible. It's not like Marvel spitting out fucking horrible fucking movies after Endgame for no fucking reason because they're just bored and they want the next successive series. Or
Yeah. But
DC
like
doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with themselves.
this is like I said, this is a bonus idea I've
Yeah,
had for a while. And I have so much written to thought to pin on this.
we have aggression on this, okay? Pin of aggression, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna give this. Let me get to my rating before we even dive in further. I'm gonna give this a 9. I would give it a 10 if it was fucking rated R. It was
Oh,
fucking rated R. It would
thank
have
you
been
for
fucking even
reminding.
better. It'd be even fucking crazier. It'd be more gruesome and fucked. And they should have pushed for that rated R because that was holding it back because they had to make it enough to get it to where it had to be. And what did Jimmy just say?
5
Five.
bites at Diggy's. Yes.
Yes. Mhm.
I meant to say I gave it an 8. I meant to give it a 9 because I love how they were playing when you're talking in your sleep and went into that big fight. That
Mhm.
was funny, but that was also really cool because they held up that dance really well.
They did. I enjoy that whole. They had to be stealthy not to die, and like,
Yes.
oh yeah, you had to use a taser. The thing in the games, they never had a taser. They never
No.
gave him stuff to fight back with. You're always doing a sneak around of everything, and this one, Mike gets in this movie, Mike gets a taser, and he gets a. I think he has a cattle prod or something. I think he
He
just
has a
keeps
cattle
having
prod.
the tail. Yeah, cattle prod, and then Vanessa just has the pistol. She just comes in hot with the pistol.
I mean, she wasn't afraid to let it loose either.
No, she shot her dad. He's like, "You're not gonna shoot me!" Pop, 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 and she gets him one good one, and I think in the arm at least.
Yeah, I think it
But
was the arm.
Cupcake took it. Cupcake took it because he hit the springs, and the fucking all the animatronic inside just went, and you had to do a close up of it going inside of him, and with a CGI, definitely CGI fucking body, just showing the freaking the animatronic going into him. That was even fucked up. And I'm just saying that's why I'm like, rated R, bitch. Let's make it worse. Let's see him explode. Let's see blood come out of that fucking shit. More crazy shit. Nah, there's something more.
They had to keep it child friendly.
Yeah. And apparently they didn't want to make it R. Yeah, I that's what I heard, but like they should have fucking did it, Jimmy.
Like
I heard
it's one of those things where I'm glad they didn't, but for some things I would have preferred it.
yeah, but like I heard like there's a lot of like script changes with that whole with the movie here and there while they're filming. So there's change ups because there's supposed to be like some other fucked up moments, but they decide not to do it. And I kind of want to see if they like when that movie comes out on like Blu-ray or yeah, Blu-ray or something like that or digital. I'm a
Hope they
Blu-ray
have that in
person.
as a deleted scene.
I hope they had like some kind of deleted scene or behind the scenes discussing what scenes they had and what they ditched, or like a storyboard section like we used to have when we were kids, and
Yeah.
some DVDs. But it's such a weird space. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Because it is
almost
weird.
what? It's
I was
almost
gonna
an adult game aimed at
Yeah,
non-adults.
that's what
Yes.
I was just gonna say because I read his other comment, and we're really happy about how they did it non-R.
Hmm.
And making a rated R movie does open up the potential for the violence and gore, but it's like they did all of it implied, except for two things, in my opinion.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, they had a fuck. There was a fuck. There
There
was a
was,
fuck. They cut it out at the end. It was supposed to be what's his name in the taxi with the with Balloon Boy statue, and instead of screaming, he was supposed to scream "fuck," and
yeah, he
that's it.
doesn't he
They
doesn't
cut it. That was a
say it
last minute
at all.
decision. They ended up changing it.
It's
I
the
think they
whole
filmed
movie
both their that
filled
scene
with jump
at
scares.
this like in the same day just to see what they would want at the end because why would they bring in a guy just to put him back in the car again for like one stupid scene?
Yeah. No,
Uh,
Josh, the movie is not all filled with jump scares. Some
no.
parts are jump scares, others are just like a dear lord.
Menacingly staring. Okay. To be fair, sometimes having to hold back a rating can make the writers more creative.
That is true. I've
True.
seen that. I've
Mhm.
seen that. You ready to get into Digimon O2?
Oh, let's
Because
get
I
into
am
this. On
scrapping.
to make a better production. Yes.
Yeah.
But let's jump into Digimon Adventures to the beginning.
You
Oh
want to take
my
this
god.
one away,
I don't
Christian?
even know how to go with this. Okay, so so this Digimon movie that me and Jerry saw came out on November 3rd in
Yes.
American theaters, and it was given to us in subbed and dubbed. On the 3rd, it was dubbed. We preferred dub anyway. Doggo no,
No.
no, no, Joshua, you're gonna stay quiet for the rest of the time being right now. Please. And so we went to see basically Jerry's in Tennessee. I'm in New York. He's 1 hour behind me. I'm texting him in this theater, letting him know shit. Like not know no shit. I'm just like, just I'm excited. I'm by myself in the theater. I don't know who to talk to other than Jerry.
It was hilarious.
I'm in the future, basically. At the end of my movie, I'm like, there's a cutscene. There's a cutscene. But anywho, this movie picks up after the original Digimon series season two's cast in the future. A few years in the future, they have their lives started now with their new founded careers, and there is a Digimon egg floating above. I believe it's
Tokyo
Tokyo
Tower.
Tokyo yeah, Tower, and it keeps broadcasting these weird images and stuff saying like here's the countdown giving you images and all that stuff. It's more like happy birthday and all that stuff. and nobody understands what this thing is. And in this now founded Digimon universe, everybody now is openly to Digimon, and they have Digimon companions. A lot of people. So it's not weird to see a Digimon. It's not weird to see a Digimon on the streets in now this future setting. In the past, it would be weird to see a roaming Digimon anywhere. But at the end of season two, you got to see the opening of Digimon have made it everywhere.
Hmm.
But in the movie, the main cast from season two band together again to go on another adventure of what the fuck is happening to Tokyo. And then they do their own investigating. They end up meeting this gentleman called Louis, and he is supposedly proclaimed as the first Digidestined. And the first Digidestined was supposed to be, if we go by the original timeline, 1998, he came around, looks like. But if you go by the reboot of the first season, they're in 2020. It's
I think
weird.
so. Yeah.
It's how they rebooted the fucking series. And they kind of combined the reboot with the original shit they're doing right now. And anywho, he was the original Digidestined. He had his own Digimon that end up being this kind of like deity style Digimon that would basically try to bring things to real life because Louis's life wasn't the glamorous, happy, and joyful lifestyle. He was a child of human abuse, child abuse, and his father was in basically hops. He was basically dying. He was on life support, and he did not. He their the mom was trying to keep them afloat. They didn't have that much money, and he suffered through it. He ended up getting his Digimon. Jerry, I can't remember the name of the Digimon. Do you remember the name?
I think it was Ukomon.
Ukum.
Ukomon.
That's yeah. I believe you're right on that one.
It's one of
So
those.
he
It's a
ends up
weird
showing
one.
up as an egg and hatches in front of him and makes a deal with Louis, and just wants to make friends. He wants people to be near him and stuff. And he ends up getting the wish, and he ends up getting friends. His dad gets healthier. His mom stops being abusive to him. People start getting Digimon companions. That basically starts off the original group of kids that become Digidestineds in the Digimon series, and all this stuff is happening. But ends up finding out that Upamon is actually falsing this reality for him, and his parents are actually mindless dolls now. They're not alive. He's brainwashed them to be this kindful, healthy family, but they're not. Louis ends up harming himself and accidentally because he doesn't want to be a digidestined, so he tries to breaking his digivice that Ubamon gave him, and it takes out his eye. Ubamon ends up giving him his eye, and Uman didn't know what to do. He's trying to make more things happen for him, and Louis just said, "Fuck off, get away from me." And Uman dies. He melts right in front of him. But Digimon, when they die, they come back as eggs, and they get reborn again as a brand new Digimon with here and there somewhat memories. Patamon, you can learn from Patamon. So well, as we go further, the Digiegg actually we're in the future now. Where Digiegg is actually hatching and ends up being Ubmon. Louis has to fight his childhood Digimon that he thought he murdered, and it has to go through this whole process because it ends up being its normal self, then mega evolves automatically to this giant form of a Digimon of himself that basically spits out the tree of life all around the whole planet and is trying to hatch, like, basically create digi eggs so everybody in the world has a Digimon. And Louis has to stop Ubamon from doing all this by accepting Ubamon as Ubamon and stopping him with basically, like how I said it, accepting him. But everybody in the group from season two's Digimon universe ends up fighting him on the outside and killing his giant form and saving the day. And at the end
Mhm.
of the movie, Umon becomes another Digi-Egg again, and proceeds onwards. If this movie series goes on further, we will just follow Louis, or we'll see other Digi-Destins from the past continue onward with Louis to help him to guide him through this journey that he's going on to. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, this
long
was a
story.
depressing movie.
Oh god, Digimon's depressing. Fuck Pokemon with them saying Pokemon is all this and all that. Digimon fucking hits everything,
Like, I've
basically.
not thought in my life I would see Digimon talk about child abuse and neglect like that.
Me either.
And it's like it's really on the extreme side too.
Oh god. Wait, I just want to read some of the things that Jimmy wrote to us. To be easy to just score it up. Delgomon, Dio, but no, what the fuck? Done dub
Diorama?
dub. Oh god damn it, Jimmy. Sorry, I prefer the monster in my pocket, not in the internet. I'm concerned, Jimmy. I'm concerned what's in your pocket, sir. But like Jimmy, like Jerry's, god damn it, like Jerry's saying, this movie is depressing as fuck, and it hits
It
the
was so
spots.
like
Weird.
I know Digimon is a more serious children's anime,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like when you see Louis as a kid and he's in the
Oh god.
rags and you see
Oh
like the bruises and then like the fresh welts on the bruises, I was like,
yeah,
man,
like
this is
we're jumping right into the child abuse spot. Like this scene is okay. So Louis gets sent to the past because he passed over the egg and it's floating stasis over Tokyo Tower. Then they shoot him right into the past when he's like 4 years old. He's like he's 4 years old. His mom, what's Jimmy say? It's a will. Oh no.
okay.
Okay, we're done, Jimmy. And so Louis is seeing little Louis walking with his mom and realizes what's going on. And his mom is just walking. Louis is like 20, 30 feet away. Someone could steal this fucking kid and she wouldn't even know the kid got stolen. And like the kid's walking, he finally catches up with the kid and all this other stuff. And and catches up to the mom and everything, and like it's all this other shit's happening. Then we get back to the house. The kids like you think it's gonna be a happy go some like family, but like Louise like goes sees her dad, the dad's in his breathing apparatus setup, and he starts talking to his dad like, "Oh, when you're better, we can start doing things." And the mom's like, "Get away, Louis! You're gonna touch something, and your dad's gonna die." Not even like try to stop, be easy with the kid. She just straight up tells him, "Fuck you! Your dad's gonna die." And then what's it called? Then like kid ends up watching TV and ends up pissing on the couch. The mom just does more shit and just puts him outside.
Like a
Puts him right
dog.
out. Yeah, puts him right out fucking side.
Like
And
a
but
dog.
right before she puts him outside, she strips him out of his t-shirt and his pants and just let them in like an overgown and just puts him outside because he pissed on the couch.
It's
And you
so
see all the
heartbreaking.
bruises and everything. It was like a tank. It was a tank top. It was a
Yeah.
large tank top on the kid. And yeah, that's what fucking happens. That's the part. And I'm not gonna finish the topic because that's the movie.
It's literally like it once you get past just how dark it is,
Yeah.
because the scene also when Louis found out his parents were essentially dead and
Yeah.
mindless drones,
Hmm.
it just sent him into such a spiral. I'm like, I don't blame Louis for what he did because if I just found out that I've been celebrating my birthday with my parents' perfectly preserved corpses, I think I would kill myself.
Hmm.
And
Well,
not even just that, but everything that I love and know up to this point in my life has just been a fabricated lie.
it is. That was it. It was fucked up. This Digimon, but the Digimon thought he was doing the right thing. Umon thought he was doing the right thing.
He
Poor
was
Louis.
trying to help, but
He was
Louis
trying to
also
help.
didn't take the time to say like, I don't, say like, I don't like this, or thank you, but I'd appreciate if you did not do this. It was such a, like,
No,
I
it's
understood because Louis and Ukamon were the first Digidestined pair,
hmm
and so that type of bond is going to be special. But it's like the second things got better for Louis, he was like, all right, I can live on Easy Street knowing
hmm
that I have a happy family. Unlike Ash, he had a dad. Ash has a dad. He's just at the milk store.
Yeah, he's getting that pack of cigarettes too. He'll be back soon.
But it's like also seeing Davis, Kenji, and everyone, all the new Digidestins, telling them like there's more to being a Digidestin than just this random piece of technology. Like our bonds are genuine and true because we've made them ourselves. Like yes, me and all my partner Digimon have fought before, but it was to come to an understanding rather than
hmm
stay at a disagreement, which is what Louis never learned was talk through your problems.
Yep. Louis
And
never actually brought got people skills. He never gained them properly because of Ubamon. He just got fed happy going, this is how life is going setups. And then I'm like thinking about it. I'm sorry to cut you off there, Jay, but I'm thinking about those
no,
kids
it's
that
just
show up
like
the
there's
kids that
just
show up at
so
his
much.
birthday, were they real? Or were they dead too?
I think the neighborhood kids were real.
Okay, just wanted to make sure because Umon just said, "Oh, I brought your friends," and your friends just showed the fuck up.
Yeah, it's just for me, I think what's so just mind blowing about this is how far they went into what someone can go through. And this like and I understand the message of it was, you have to forgive and move on.
hmm
But it was like at that point in Ukomon's life cycle, he was strong enough as a rookie Digimon to produce 7 billion
Yes.
Digi eggs.
hmm
Imagine if Louis would have had any type of malice wish.
Fuck that. And Jimmy, they sent him out in the rubber gloves, but Jimmy, the Digidestineds went to if you go by the original series, they went to a camp and accidentally got sent to a digital world where they can just die with monsters that do whatever the fuck they want. So
Yes, gods and demons.
yeah, they literally just got sent to a world. And at least Ash had rubber gloves to stop the electricity getting to his body.
Yeah,
At least they tried to help him. They no one could help him.
it was busy. No, it
It
wasn't.
was
But definitely the one thing that I loved the most was how Davis was really the big point of getting Louis to understand.
yeah, Davis is
Me
usually
and Vmon are have a crazy dynamic.
they
And Vmon
do.
played into it too. He was like, Davis, let's make some ramen with cooked egg. And they were just naming off these random
Mhm.
ingredients that they were going to use to cook their ramen because no matter what, that's always going to be our special thing.
Yeah, like Davis and Vmon always had each other's back. They always knew how each other. They basically were meant for each other, but they always butt heads at the same time, and that made their dynamic a little bit better. But they're the numbskulls of the group, where you
Mm-hmm.
had other group people in the group that were slightly more intelligent and everything, but the guy with the goggles is the leader. So that's basically how Digimon is. If you have goggles for some reason or some kind of eyewear that look like goggles in a way, you're the leader. That's how
It's,
they set up
it's
with
their
Ty.
version of
Davis
whatever.
got it too. And then if you go to Tamers, was it season 3? That's Tamers, right? He had
Yeah.
the guy that made Growlmon, he had goggles. He ends up being some of a leader or just the main character.
Frontier's no one had goggles. They all had headwear.
Yeah, all headwear.
So they all were the leader.
He's okay.
But back to Digimon O2.
Yes.
I really enjoyed this new cleaned up animation style I
Hmm.
forgot to send it to you, but somebody did like a side by side comparison of the old to the new. I didn't realize the new one actually added in a couple of extra frames for the transformations.
Yes, yes, it did.
And not only that, there's also you can see so much more of the runes more clearly now.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, so we're starting to see the digital language in
Yes,
more visible fashion.
yes. I was watching it, and I saw them do the Digivolve forms, and I'm like, okay, okay. And then they fusioned. I'm not gonna lie. I'm squirming in my seat. I'm just like, I'm losing my shit. My 12-year-old self is
Yes,
literally losing
me and
my
Latre
shit.
were freaking out
I
because
don't have
every
anybody.
even the
I'm like
CGI
texting. I'm
was
like,
great.
the CGI was way better. They amped up the antics on that. And Jimmy, we still have a billion questions. We don't even know how they answered.
I want to know if Ukuman has a Digivolution tree because there's no way you're just a forever rookie like that.
I
Deity class
I
or
don't
not.
I don't think he has like a legitimate tree yet because we just met him. Like he's a freshly new Digimon to us, and like I don't think he was in any of the other games or
No,
branch offs because all the
I
branches
tried looking
branch
them
off.
up.
Yeah, like all the other things I've seen of Digimon, I still need to catch up to some Digimon seasons. I definitely need to see Digimon Ghost.
Ghost is
Um,
good. It has some
I
very spooky scenes.
I know I heard it's actually probably the top rated Digimon series they actually made, but like there's nothing there. Like that's yeah, I don't know. There's like nothing there. This guy, so I don't think he has really a Digimon tree. The his evolution tree literally goes from rookie to monstrosity of what he did at the end of the movie. Even if that is a real monstrosity of like a mega evolved form, straight to mega form, because if he went like because he was inside of it as a rookie. So like, was it just a
It's so
fraud? Is
hard
it a
to say.
creation he made?
I think
It's
it's
just
a
a lot of
creation he
stuff.
made.
Because like there's no Umon just is just a monstrosity of a Digimon rookie.
He's linked to an ancient deity. If
Mhm.
we like, we've already Digimon. We got to get into Digimon lore because that's a whole nother 2 episodes in itself. But if we
We'll get
finally get
there.
in to some of the ancient deity Digimon, can you imagine what that's gonna look like going forward?
Because well, technically, it was the rebooted. Because when they're going down this route with the rebooted series of Digimon Adventures Season One with the 2020 edition of it, they went down with the angel stuff with the whole the what's it called the devil eating the Devilmon and Angelmon setup. They're
Mm-hmm.
like they're going down that path, so I should have saw this fucking coming. But like I thought they were gonna reboot two, but they didn't reboot two
I think they
because
might be waiting.
I think they might be waiting probably too, but like because like in the beginning of the movie they're showing like Louis and Louis talking about like yeah I was watching this news thing when I was a kid and it was the Digimon ending. It was the ending of the season 1 reboot of 2020 of Digimon 2020. And it was the ending when they're being the monster that actually they were fighting. And that got broadcasted and all that stuff. So I'm like, that's connected. And then you got this season 2 cast of Venture 2 cast, and they're there. And the funny thing is, God no. But yeah, at the end of Adventures 2, everybody is in their positions where they got left off at because
Mm-hmm.
Ty's as a business is in the biz the Digimon business gentleman. Izzy's doing his goddamn. They're all doing their damn like stuff, and we didn't see Sarah or Mimi or Joe and all that stuff. We just mostly saw Izzy and Ty, but they're the main focus point of that Digimon uh unit thing in the future at the end of Adventures 2. And I like there was some there's a lot of Easter eggs from season two's ending because at the
Mm-hmm.
end of season 2, they did this whole thing and they had to do this whole thing that after they beat this monster, they had to do this whole basically run around the world and they were meeting other digidestineds across the world, and they were showing digidestineds across the world, and they were showing certain digidestineds that we met from that end of the season. And then what's it called? There's a movie that they dropped after season two came out, about the time when season two kind of ended, around the ending. It was they did a first half was Adventure One, the second half of the movie is season though was Adventure Two, and there's a child there's a child that they meet in it that's this blonde haired kid, and he ended up having this a Digimon that had a twin that died though, and it was haunting him. He was actually at the end of the movie too,
Yes, he was.
about the end as a Easter egg with his two Digimon, because they end up getting him the Digimon to come back to being like a normal Digimon again and getting reborn as the Digimon he lost in the same way. And they kind of like they had a decent amount of Easter eggs, and I was like, holy fuck! I was not expecting this shit.
It was a great tribute piece to what Digimon, like how far Digimon has come.
True, and I was kind of happy that they didn't bring in Adventure Two's Digidestineds, because they always dragged them in. In any kind of like Digimon situation, the original group gets put into the situation for some reason. Because for
Mhm.
some reason, my favorite Digimon's Agumon and his branch of evolution. No, it's because he's a dinosaur. He's actually a neat little character. He's kind of goofy. He's kind of fun and all that stuff. And he shoots fucking fire and has fun with himself with this shit. He doesn't give a fuck what's happening. And usually when that happens, whenever some big shit happens, they drag in Agumon and Tai, and they need to get War Greymon in this bitch, his
And then they
mega
drag in
form.
Matt with Garurumon because they're gonna
Yeah,
have to always rely on Omnimon.
yeah, and they had to bring it on. Yeah, they had to bring it. They didn't do that. They ended up bringing in. They let Adventure Two's cast of Digidestineds actually do their thing and do the Digi Evolution fusing. That I wasn't expecting to see all of them do, but I should have
I
looked at the fucking
love
poster
that.
better. I loved it too, seeing all of them. And I'm not gonna lie, all the Digimon in the cast kind of sounded like their original voice actors.
I know some of them were there, but I think some did get replaced.
I'm a Dillamon got the short end of the stick. He kind of sounded a little slower than usual, and he wasn't Texas like
Mhm.
Texan. He usually had that like southern twang of a Texan gentleman,
Yep.
and he did not have that. They just made him more dumb than just southern.
I'm surprised Yo Lee's voice was either stayed the same or was very similar.
It was I don't know. To me, it sounded like normal, but
Like,
if
it
it
sounded
was
normal, but I could tell, like, I think it might be somebody new too.
um
I know Vmon and Davis. I think
they're
they
the
came
same. They
back.
are the fucking exact same. I remember their fucking voices. I
TK
was fucking
Patamon, they
squirming.
came back.
Mhm.
I'm sad
Sarah,
Gatomon and
eh,
Kyrie's didn't come back.
yeah. Yeah, Kyrie and Gatamon, definitely their actresses are not the same. I'm sad to say it, their voice actress I was kinda disappointed when I was watching the rebooted series before this movie came out, and definitely when I heard Gatamon, and I was, like, disappointed because I'm like, not the same character, not the same voice actress, because she had more spunk to her and everything,
Mhm.
but they changed up Gatamon's storyline and all that stuff anyway in the reboot. So it's kind of like different. It kind of sits with what she has now. So it's kind of fine with me, but they went with the same story that she had in the beginning. Then I'll be disappointed that we didn't have that same voice actress.
Okay.
Yeah, they got him on in the what's it called in the reboot. Instead of being a slave to Myotismon,
Mhm.
she's trapped inside of Devimon, like a no like one of the no, she's trapped inside of another Digimon that's on the evil side that she's being held captive in there, and Carly Ty's sister ends up saving her by getting absorbed into that Digimon and pulling her out of it. And she's one of the celestial Digimon, so Then all that shit happens.
Yeah.
And it's another shocking thing that Gatamon's the champion version of her Digiform.
I've always thought that was so
So
unusual,
weird.
but
Because
I mean,
Patamon's the rookie edition. Like,
I guess it makes sense because you can go right from a Digi Egg right into a rookie.
true.
I
They have a
mean,
lot of like confusing things with Digimon because Digimon can evolve from one tree to another tree depending on where they're at, depending on how they choose the form. It's a weird way of
it's
going with things.
weird.
Like, see, Jimmy, we have a bunch of questions ourselves with Digimon.
Digimon can take so many paths and still get the same end result as someone
hmm
else.
Yes. Like, War Greymon, not War Greymon, Agumon in Adventure One's reboot. It Agumon's supposed to evolve into Greymon, then Metal Greymon, War Greymon, then he's supposed to fusion and make Omimon. But if you have him at Greymon and War Greymon's more in the angry, sinister, depressing state of mind, he becomes Skull
Skull
Greymon,
Greymon.
and he's just a menace to society and just wants to nuke freaking everything.
And then it
But
goes to what's the next one? I forget. It's Skull
no,
Greymon.
Skull Greymon stops there, and then in the newer adventures, they have many other forms
Yeah, I
they
was gonna
end up
say I've
bringing
seen
in.
one of the new ones.
And in the new reboot, what was it? Gray, well, the Metal Greymon ends up evil. Like he got pissed off and like depressed and all that shit, and he becomes Machine Dramon,
That's
and
what it was.
that's not what he's not supposed to become. And he just does it because that's what his state of mind told his coding in his body to become instead of becoming War Greymon.
Yeah, Digivolutions. It's hard to imagine that some of it is dependent on your mental state when you do it,
hmm
and then others is just like, okay, I'm gonna just do something and hope I get lucky.
hmm But if you do it the right way, the same amount of time, like same way, the Digimon will stay on that path of what you have done already until you change some kind of dynamic to that person, like Jerry's
Mhm.
saying. But like, it's just, let's get back to the movie though.
So, in the movie, the one thing that freaks me out the most
What?
was how unhinged Ukamon was.
At the end
Ukamon
of,
just casually performed complicated eye surgery like a five-star surgeon. And then, not only that,
it's okay,
Ukamon
Louie.
was perfectly
Here's my
fine
eye.
with being choked. And Ukamon was just like, "It's okay, Louis. You can do this until you feel better. I just
Oh
want to make
God,
sure you have
yeah.
a good time. You know, I
hmm
love you, Louis." And I'm just like, while I understand everything Ukamon's doing, bro, would be honestly, I think I'd go insane
hmm
from just the calmness,
Like it's
unblinking.
Louis, like Uman's like he's a manipulative Digimon, but at the same time doesn't understand he's manipulating, and I believe like psychopath, like wow, wow. It's been a long day for me.
Psychologically.
Psychologically fucked up at the same time, and I don't like. It's just how he's just set up as a character because we've been down roads like we said we've been down so many paths with Digimon that this is just what the fuck is happening. This is the newest thing that we have because everyone's been fucked in the series. But there's like issues that they have, all this
Mhm.
depression, parent
All
like
these
lifestyles.
unresolved, just life traumas.
Yeah, we literally had a Digimon, Black War Greymon. He went through suicidal thoughts and wanted
Yes.
to end his life and all this other shit. That was when we're watching that movie show at like what 10, 10 to 12 years
And
old.
then he went fucking manic and was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna cause widespread genocide."
Yep. And but he ends up saving them. Like, he ended up helping out, helping saving the world. He ended up sacrificing himself for the greater good. But yeah, like it's just like what the fuck? It's just in this movie, just like they created a new monster that we weren't expecting. I
They Digimon's always had this narrative that it's more so not for kids but teenagers who might be in a similar situation.
Hmm.
Because for me, everything that went on with Louis, not
Hmm.
just as a child, but with what he was dealing with as a young adult, really just showed like he was never given the proper time and care for him to process his emotions.
Hmm. Super.
And then, even mixed in with that, too, nobody has ever given him any kind of just affirmation into the person he is,
Hmm.
because it took fucking what, six strangers to help this man
Yeah, actually, just beat it into his brain, not physically, just more, just trying to get the point out to
with
him.
just, positive words of encouragement.
Yeah, what's his name? Ken, not Ken. Is it Ken? The kid that
With
was the
Wormon,
what you were Mormon? Yeah,
yes, man.
Ken. He was okay. Like I was expecting him to go down deep with his backstory because Ken, if you don't know the lore of Digimon, Ken was actually a
He was a villain at one point.
villain in the first half of Digimon Adventures 2. He was the villain, and he literally enslaved and abused Digimon to get what he wanted, and created a monstrosity of an empire. And then realizes later down the path that Davis ends up punching into him. That he's a screwed up, fucked up person, and just abusing Digimon for his own good and needs. And that's not how it's supposed to be. And Ken realizes it and tries to snap out of it, but there's another entity behind all this shit. And we go on for forth to the other half of the freaking series.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was expecting that dark story to
Like, I
come
was
out.
at least expecting a mention to like how it took losing Wormmon for him to
Oh
change,
god, yeah, he abused the shit out of him, and Wormont took a bullet. He
but
literally took a
Wormmon
bullet for him.
refused to give up on him.
Yeah, and, like, I was waiting for that, but we never got that, but he hinted, like, it shit is difficult when you don't have the right guidance and people
Hmm.
around you that help you through the darkest times of your time period, and it's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, it's kind of weird, like, you're getting these messages from a anime. And I'm like, some animes do that, and some animes don't. And you think this anime would be meant for kids, but it's literally going for everybody. And yeah, there's that point. And God, it's gonna bring up something with Uamon. Oh, God. Oh,
Ukomon?
oh,
Oh, you
hold on, you're glitching. Hold on, I'm catching up to Jerry. I don't know why, but I have a question for him. Anytime now. I think I'm fucked up. Okay, Jerry, you back?
okay? We're back now.
Okay, cool. All right, awesome. Because you're frozen for me. But but did you have any kids in your theater?
No, we
No, you're
had.
all grown ass adults.
I think there might have been like one, like younger adult, but
Okay,
it was all adults
okay.
still.
I had a dad. I had a dad in the theater with two kids.
Hmm.
When Ubamon died, like when he melted, that kid cried. He That kid ended up crying. The dad had to leave the theater and with the kids because of that scene.
Yeah.
And I was not expecting a kid to start crying. I forgot there was a kid in the theater because everyone was just watching the movie. And when that scene happened, I'm like, fuck, there was a kid here. Fuck. First trauma. No.
Yeah, it was because this. If you've never seen, anything of the newer Digimon, and you still only knew the old stuff, you would think like, oh yeah, this will be fine.
Hmm.
No,
No.
no.
Mm,
Honestly wouldn't even recommend this for someone going through, a rough mental battle, because
no.
this hits you like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, you literally just get punched in the face by Mike Tyson a few times. Like it
It's scary.
doesn't you weren't I was not expecting I'm not gonna lie. Even when I was a kid, when I watched that first Digimon movie, that was depressing as well.
It
That was
was
fucked up too, and I wasn't expecting it. But you know how many times I watched that movie?
too many.
Too many times, and I tried to keep it from Blockbuster, and my parents had to return it. Oh, we're old Blockbuster.
But one thing that I will say surprised me the most was Ukumon's willingness to just talk to Louis again. After everything Louis did, after everything Louis said, Ukumon was still like, "You're still my friend, and
Yeah,
you're always gonna be my friend, but we gotta work on what it means to be friends."
the thing was with
And I
that.
was, man,
The thing was
you go
like,
ahead.
like Ubermon's just like he didn't. The thing is, he just wants Louis to be happy, and that's like we keep saying he wants Louis to have a good life, and he wanted everybody to be cool with Louis and like everything to have his stuff, and like that's what Upamon didn't. Upamon didn't want to start conflict with Louis because he was holding up to his end of his promise. If you think
Mhm.
about it, because he didn't want a conflict with Louis, he wanted everybody to be with Louis and be friends with him. He never wanted this like stuff, but like Upamon gave Louis another wish. The other wish was to go back in time and fix whatever happened with his mom, like get his like make things right properly for his past. Because at the end of the movie, you get Louis goes back in time. He spends time with his mom without his mom knowing who he is,
Mhm.
and it changes the scenario. Instead of having the mom being more of a neglective parent, she's now she changed her idea of what was going on in the scene of when Louis walking behind her on the sidewalk. She ends up realizing, Louis, you're not next to me. Where's Louis? What's happened to Louis? And she runs for Louis instead of what we saw originally was Louis was getting left behind. That was it. Louis had to catch up to his mom, and we end up getting that situation. And then Louis gets then his wish originally of everybody getting like becoming friends with him and everything that differently changes, but he ends up going back to the future and everyone's still friends with him in a way. And all the Digidestined don't have their Digivices anymore because the Digivices were the connection between Digidestined to Digimon. Now it's just no more needed, and now you have a Digimon that is
Mhm.
coexisting to be friends with you because they're willing to. So it's a weird change of pace because it's weird because if we go down the next path of Digimon, we will get into Digimon Tamers, and everyone keeps telling me that's a different freaking universe and all this other shit. So I'm like, okay, so I don't know when we're ever gonna get the Tamers, or what's gonna happen when we get the Tamers. It's gonna be a weird situation.
Well, first off, with everything with Ukamon and Louis, it was really for me. All of it was very heartwarming because even at the end, when Louis felt just terrible about what he had done and just more terrible about the pain he unintentionally caused, the fact Ukamon still let him get his first wish to go back in time and just talk to his mom,
Hmm.
like you said, that made the biggest difference, off camera in his
Yeah,
life. And then two, the fact that at the end, Ukamon's Digi Egg started hatching, and it was still Louis' birthday.
true. Yes, it was. Well, it doesn't take that long for a Digi to hatch. That's the one thing we have learned about the past because we did have was it Patamon has died a few times in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and they had like to get him back from the nursery of the Digimon world because normally, okay, so normally when a Digimon dies, the egg shows up in the nursery. And the nursery is where you would find your Digimon. You have to just know what the egg looks like, and then that's you can find your Digimon. But yeah, Patamon has died a few times, but it has hatched. He's hatched within like a day's worth of time of TK end up getting him back.
It
So
all
it's
just kind of depends.
yeah. But Louis ends up having his hatch. Louis right after everything just happened. And I think it's Uman just being Uman and just manipulating things
Yeah,
because it doesn't know better. But I think it's gonna be on different terms now because I think is more excited to be back with Louis and just going on with his adventure.
I
But
think
Louis, his
I
eye.
do think they're very excited for their second chance at being friends again.
Mhm.
And like you said, I know things are going to be different.
Yeah, but
And
the thing,
then,
his
like you said
eye.
about
Does his eye go
season,
back to what's up with the eye? The eye
oh,
thing
the
at
eye's
the end of
gone.
the movie, it's gone, right?
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone. So he just has an empty spot there now.
Yeah, fake eye.
Yeah, okay. So fake is it fake eye or it'd be a patch now? Because I don't think he had an eye. He had Uman eye for so long.
It'll be patchy,
Yeah, patch eye. Alright. Because
but
that's the one thing I couldn't get a good glimpse on. I'm like, did he have an eye or did he have an eye patch?
he didn't have an eye patch. It was just the raw skin, but he would
Mm,
put one on. With what you said about what is it? Digimon Tamers, I think season 3 was.
yeah, Tamers.
I hope that they still do it because first off, having this as the second set of Digi Destin's movie, I
Mhm.
like this a lot, even if they are separate universes,
Mhm.
because that way each movie still within its own realm is its own big piece of the
Uh-huh.
puzzle. Because you know just as much as me. Whenever we get a new season of anything new with Digimon, it
Mhm.
just adds that much more to like, okay, now so instead of what we've known about this, we can also put this in the mix too.
Yes.
And the fact this gave us Ukomon. Ukomon is a rookie Digimon linked to an ancient deity. So we know
Mhm.
at some point there were god level Pokemon, not Pokemon. Oh God,
Digimon.
Digimon.
Digimon. We haven't hit God level Digimon yet. I know Pokemon has hit God level too fast, but here we are.
But now this outside when we get to the canonical lore, we excuse me, if we can say truthfully that there are gods and devils as
Mhm.
Digimon, that's gonna be such a game changer.
But the thing is, like, we're so off topic again. Well, with this because with Digimon that we had Devimon. Devimon was the demon, like the devil of the digital world until they killed him off. And
Mhm.
in Adventures One reboot, um, what's it called? The Devimon had his original form, and then he ended up digivolving into another form, and he ends up becoming a more of a monstrosity at the end because when he digivolves, he ends up dying as a corpse. He dies, and then he digivolves as a mindless corpse instead of having his soul actually attached to it. So that
Ooh,
even makes it worse. And he was basically just Satan of a creature.
okay.
Yeah, and then they had to bring in. Then at the end of the move, like around like the end of the move, like in the first half of Digimon reboot, they had to bring in that chimera kind of creature of like all kinds of types of Digimon all mixed together. Like
Mhm.
he's Greymon, Tentamon, not Tentamon, Kamentarimon. He had all kinds of different parts of his body with different Digimon. That was another. He was supposed to be a deity of a creature of like evil, and that was a focus point of that series was trying to stop him from being resurrected.
Oh yeah, that does sound
So
familiar.
so that's what's happening. They are introducing deity stuff, but using old material as the new deities things.
Mhm.
Because yeah, that creature gets created and it ends up going on a monstrosity just going destroying everything because I believe Ken makes him,
Yeah, Ken did
and
make it.
Ken makes him, and in this universe, he's just a deity. That's it. And there is another creature that's another above creature that's supposed to be around, and it's like a bird-like creature, and that's a deity too. But it's she that deity talks about like the celestial beings, meaning Angelmon and Angel Woman, and then bringing them to the fold, and like bringing other celestial being creatures into the universe. But we only get those. Yeah, those only two Digimon to become like added into it. So there should be more celestial beings
They'll
and
add him
devils.
in when they get there.
Like Myotismon. You didn't get Myotismon. If you think about it,
Yeah,
he's supposed to be a he's supposed to be like a demon.
he's supposed to be like demon devil, maybe a fiend.
Well,
No,
they made
because
more.
my Otismon, he was very vampire
They
esque.
made if you think about Myotismon is like the Digimon version of what like that was it that one demon um God damn it starts with an M. Everyone's using him now. It's like as everything. Um,
Mm, I
I
don't know.
forget his name, but he's like their version, like their typical version of it. But he's more vampire than anything else. But he has other forms. He ends up getting. But we keep going off topic, and
We do.
there's so much of Digimon. Oh my god. We haven't got to nerd out about Digimon other than
It's
PlayStation, and now we're just nerding out on like live YouTube.
but I'm gonna go ahead and give my just final thoughts and quick review.
Hmm.
Digimon O2, I've told my brother and I've told a couple of my friends about it. I'm like, this is a dark movie, but it's like one of those dark movies to really show you that, even in, your darkest time, always hold out for a ray of hope because you never know how it might change your life. And then also, this was just a fantastically put together movie. Everything about it, great.
Hmm.
Animation, plot, characters, even the twist of Ukomon and Louis, I loved it to pieces.
Yes,
I'm gonna give solidly, this is an 8.5 for me.
eight and a
Super,
half.
super solid. It's a little too dark for my taste because I went in, obviously you go into a movie blind, but like
Hmm.
some of like that child abuse stuff that Louis had to go through, that was a bit much for me.
Yeah, but
And it's not that I have a problem, seeing it, but it's
it's not
like
what you want to see.
it's not what I really wanted to see. And it
No.
was such a big part of why everything happened.
Yeah, don't hate me. I'm going with a 10. Because that's how horrible a person I am. No, I actually enjoyed what like the movie and everything. I didn't like you said, didn't find I didn't care for the child abuse part. That's not what I want to see. But that gave the movie more depth and what we had to get to with all this other stuff, and gave us a new scenario that they didn't touch upon in the past. So we just it's
Hmm.
something different. And did I want them to use that? No, definitely not. And it's just what they chose and they went with, and we had to see a different struggle of life in this Digimon universe, and it's just what the fuck. And yeah, and the animation's great. It was made by Toei Animations, and Toei Animation's been doing really great with One Piece animation and
Hmm.
other works they have done with Dragon Ball. And even Dragon Ball had I heard there's a lot of animation errors with Dragon Ball Super in the beginning and all that kinds of shit, but
Their
um
animation for the Adventures of Dai, the Dragon Quest series,
yeah.
is absolutely phenomenal.
I know I heard many like all kind of Toei stuff. I know there's hiccups with certain productions, but But all Toei stuff they try to do now, it's
When
amazing.
they want to put out the money, they make
Yeah, they
bangers.
definitely, and they know Digimon was gonna bring in people, and they fucking dropped it. And that's was I was excited that they actually brought life to this animation more. They kind of made it better. They didn't try to stray away from too much shit from the past. They brought in the new stuff as well. They made it work. I was happy with that. But I
Hmm.
am gonna bring in a story to tie in to the story from the beginning of the podcast and Five Nights at Freddy's before we end this. So at the end of the movie, we walked out. You do get like he hand out in certain theaters. They handed out booster cards, and we got those. We forgot to add that. And there's Digimon card game that's out there, and they hand out little booster sets for the newer additional set that's coming out soon. I think later this month. And it should be coming out soon, like next week. I may have to get a box set at some point. Um, yeah, so I was walking out of the theater, and this gentleman that was next to me uh, asked me a question, and he was he was more mentally challenged and stuff, and he was asking me questions about the parents, and I was just like, oh man, and then I wasn't thinking it. I shouldn't have made it so bluntly to him. And I just said the parents are dead. And yeah, if but Louis' ending of it was how it went. His parents should be fine, and he shouldn't have lived with his aunt with the rest of his childhood. But but the seeing his face when I said it to him, I felt bad, and I didn't know how to react to how I said it to him because his reaction was, "I wish you didn't say that to me, you dick."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I walked back to my truck, and I was just like, "I'm an asshole. I am literally, I didn't mean it." But he was there for the movie. I would have assumed he would have understood it, but he didn't understand it until I said it to him the way I said it to him. But I did shouldn't have said it the way I should have explained it better. But I wasn't in. I was just yeah. And then
Yep.
Jerry did that to me in the theater in this podcast, and I just felt it's revenge karma came finally through a different person.
But before we also close out, we have a quick plug-in and promo to throw
Man, we
out.
should have done this in the beginning.
We should have. I completely forgot about it in the
Yeah, we just
excitement.
jumped right into it. Okay.
Chris, you want to take it away? Yeah, Chris, you
Okay,
take it away.
so let me bring up all the details so I can get all of it correct. But tomorrow at 11 o'clock, Iacon is starting up. It is a Comic Con that's going to be in Fishkill, New York from 11 to 5. And it's going to be awesome and have fun. I believe it's the second year. If I understand, it's the second year of this con. And let me give you guys the address of where you're supposed to go because this is the first time I'm actually going. I didn't get to make it last year because of certain situations at work. Josh got to make it there, ended up becoming nice friends with everybody that was there. And Josh is going to be there in the beginning of from 11 to 5. We're going to be showing a clip of our Batman versus Superman movie plus a trailer that we have, and we're going to be showing a other video that we started. It was a project that we have, and we're going to show a clip from that as well. But you're
Please
going to be
forgive us,
going.
Josh. I meant to do this in the beginning, but I forgot.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we kind of just jumped into it. We had some technical difficulties and all that stuff, but if you go to Iacon, you're going to go to Fishkill's Recreation Center, 793 New York, dash 52 Fishkill, New York, 12524. That's the address to the location. I've actually been there. It's a nice little center. Parking is gonna be a little difficult. Been there for an anime con. that they had there. A nice center though. Nice little roomy little nice place that you go to that has a nice amount of room for nice exhibits. Um, please stop by at the BatYard Productions little booth that Josh is going to be running. He's going to be chilling there, and I'm going to try to show up there around between 12 and 1 o'clock to help out and hang out with everybody. And yeah, tickets are there. Tickets are sold there online or at the
think
door.
it's on sale now. Link is not in our description though.
No, it's not in our description. But for adults, it's only $10. Children under the age of 11 are basically what's it called?
Free.
$0. And then yeah, it's free. And then children 12 and over is $10. So either way, if you're over the age of 11, you have to pay $10.
But we wanted to get that quick plug in, and we're gonna go ahead and just call this a good one.
Yeah,
Good night, everybody.
have fun.